Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys the best loadout for new players of the cycle. So if you are a newer player to the cycle and you're looking for the best weapons that you should be using, then you're going to want to be sure to stick around for this whole video so you know how you're going to be able to win more games with the best loadout for new players to the cycle. So just a quick disclaimer, I do want to put out there that it might take a bit of faction grinding in order to get some of these weapons, but this is what you should prioritize, like the certain factions trying to get these certain weapons, because these weapons will help you win so many more games in the cycle. So let's go ahead and get right into the loadout. So right away, let's talk about the kits. So there's 4 kits that you can choose from: the anti-quick suit, the basic prospector kit, the boxer war suit, and the dragonfly flight suit. So each of these has their own pros and cons, and we will be releasing a video in the future on this, so just be sure to be on the lookout for that. But just real quick, the anti-quick suit, you're going to have crazy movement speed but decreased health. And then the basic prospector kit, it's basically just like your average kit. There's no really pros, there's no really cons. Then you have the boxer war suit, where you have a ton of health but a decreased movement speed. And then for the dragonfly flight suit, you're going to have crazy mobility, but if you're in the air, you can get lasered down really easily. So just a thing to probably test around with and be on the lookout for that video, but just choose whichever one you want to do. I would definitely recommend the boxer war suit if you are a beginner player, just because you have so much health, you're not going to die as quickly. So that's it for the kits. Now moving on to the pistols. So honestly, I feel like you have 2 choices for the pistols. You have the hammer or the K28. Personally, I use the hammer, but I know that Carnage uses the K28 and he loves it. So let's just go ahead and give some pros and cons of both of these. So first off, for the hammer, we're going to start with that. Some pros on it: it's great in PvP. You're able to just laser kids, and it's so much better than any other weapon or starter pistol in PvP. Another really great part of it is that it has great range. You can shoot people from far away and you'll still deal enough damage for it to be worth it. The other last pro that I have is that headshots do damage, like so much damage. So if you're able to hit those headshots, this weapon is perfect for you. But the hammer does have some cons. So first off, it's mediocre at PvE. You really have to hit those headshots and able for it to do anything. You should be able to clear a round of mobs with one of its ammos. So, I mean, it's decent for PvE, but it could always be better. And so another con that we have is that you have to hit your shots. If you do not hit your shots, you cannot use the hammer, because you have to hit the headshots, like I was saying, in order to be good with this weapon. Another thing is that it has less ammo. It only has 8 shots per round, so you have to make each of those shots worth and hit them. Hit the headshots, aim for them, and you'll do just fine once you learn how to hit those headshots. And that's basically all there is to the hammer. So if you guys want to know the mods that I use the hollow point rounds, improved halo dot, and power chamber. You can of course switch these up, and especially with the hammer, you can put, instead of the power chamber, double action. This fires 2 bullets instead of 1. So it's all up to preference. Be sure to test that out in the shooting range. Along with all of the rest of this loadout, just find what suits your playstyle the best. So moving on to the K28 auto pistol, we have the pros of it. So this weapon is pretty good at PvE. It is way better than the hammer in it, just because you're able to fire so many bullets. You guys can see it has a 14 magazine size, so you're just able to spray as much bullets into your enemy as possible. So you have more chances to deal damage just because there's a lot of ammo. And then also another pro for it is there's just this fast fire rate that will help you so much. You just get up close and you just tap that left trigger and you will be just fine. So moving on to the cons on the K28, this weapon is terrible at PvP. You cannot fight at all if you're using the K28. If you're using it, you're going to want to go to that 200 credit weapon as soon as possible, so that just in case other prospectors come to push you, you are fine. But you cannot PvP with this weapon. I cannot stress that enough. And then the other cons that I have is that you have to be close range, because this thing does not have that great of distant shooting. You're not going to deal any damage, and you're probably not even going to be able to hit the shots because the recoil is our last con for it. This recoil is pretty crazy, but if you can figure it out, then you're going to be just fine. So those are the pros and cons for both the hammer and the K28. So it's going to be up to you which one you use. We have a video going in depth with all of the pistols, so be sure to go check the top right hand corner of your screen right now for that. That's going to be linked right there. So moving on to our other weapons, we're going to start out with the PDW. The reason I highly suggest the PDW for newer players is that you start with it. It's one of the weapons that you will automatically get right when you start the game. And it's one of the better weapons in the game right now regarding the SMGs, where you're just going to get up close and just spray. That's all you have to do. Hit your shots, try to control the recoil, and you'll end up getting a few knocks with this. So definitely go check out the PDW. Let's go ahead and show you guys my mods on it. So as you guys can see, I use high caliber chamber, which increases the damage, and then extended magazines, which will increase the magazine capacity. I had 36 shots with it, 42 damage per shot, so that's a ton of damage going into them. So it is a great weapon to use. And then you guys can also sort in here by SMGs. You can always switch it out for the ASP Flechette or the Scrapper. And a ton of people ask me whether they should get the Voltaic Brute or not. And I just don't know if it's worth it, because it is 500 credits where you can get just as good of a SMG for 200 credits. It might be worth it to save those credits for an even better weapon. So moving on to our next weapon that I suggest is the Comrade. I personally don't use the Comrade, and that's just because I do not like how it plays, just because it takes no skill or game knowledge to use. But if you're getting into the game, you're definitely going to want to give this weapon a try, because all you have to do is just press left click and you will get knocks. Just keep on pressing it and spam the rockets that shoot out of the Comrade. You will do so well, and it's so good for beginner players just because it doesn't take any skill. So as you guys can see, the mods that I put on it, just the streamlined chamber, that's what I like the best. And you guys can see 18 magazine size for 120 damage per shot. It's pretty crazy. So definitely unlock that as soon as possible. And then moving back to our other weapons, this is all personal preference. I'm not going to tell you which ones are the best, just something that you need to go figure out, because most likely you're not going to be using these weapons as much. You just want two primary weapons that you're going to go for, and then the other ones, it's just like if you have spare credits, you can go for it. I would definitely recommend carrying a sniper. There are 4 snipers to choose from, so just go into the shooting range and just test these out and choose whichever one you like the most. So moving on, I have the Manticore. It's just a better SMG, just in case I do want to go ahead and upgrade from the PDW. I feel like the Manticore just really shreds. And if you guys want to see my mods on that, I'll go ahead and show you guys now. It is an assault rifle, so I know some people don't like me calling it an SMG, but it basically is an SMG. So my mods, I use mercury infused needles, rapid ejector, and spring stock. So hopefully that helps you guys out for the weapons. But now we need to move on to the abilities. So there's 2 main abilities that I would really recommend, and that's grenade and stem boost, or adrenaline health boost, whatever you want to call it. There's health boost and adrenaline shot. Adrenaline shot will help you move faster, and it's also going to heal you a bit. But if you're looking to heal the most, you're going to want to use this health boost, because you can regain so much HP with this. And if you're using the anti-quick suit, you're going to definitely want to be carrying this, just due to the limited health you already have. So this is great during fights. You can just pop it and then heal up mid-fight while running around, and it is great to use. So I was talking about the grenade, and the reason why I suggest this so much to newer players is because there's only a 15-second cooldown. And you can also upgrade your abilities and weapons, so this cooldown can go down to 13 seconds. So it is amazing just to have the ability to just shoot this grenade and deal 300 damage every 13 seconds, especially if you're doing Velta sites or something like that, where there are rounds of mobs coming towards you. You can just throw this grenade and it will deal so much damage and clear these mobs. It is perfect for beginner players, so trust me, use the grenade. And not only is it great for PvE, it's also great for PvP if you can hit the players. I know that it might be a bit challenging for beginner players to hit the players right away with this grenade, but once you learn how to do it, you will be able to use it in so many fights, deal so much damage, and end up winning more of your fights because of it. So the other two abilities, it's all preference, just like the last two weapons, but I would highly suggest the turret. The reason why I say this is it's basically like another player is with you. They're dealing damage, and it's just perfect for like a support role, because what you can do, you can just pop a ton of turrets around a Velsa site, let's say a 1k Velsa site, and if you have the grenade, you will easily be able to solo this 1k crystal, and it's going to give you so many VPs. So be sure that you're just testing out this ability and see if you like it. I always suggest the turret though. I've been rocking it since I started playing. It's never left my loadout, so definitely it's a must-have if you like it. If you don't like it, then you can replace it with something else. So the last ability that we're going to cover is the Directional Warp, and all I'm going to say about the Directional Warp is be sure you have notifications on and also subscribe, because we're releasing a video later in this week going in depth with the Directional Warp and how to use it. But it basically allows us to teleport across the map short distances, but there is a cooldown on it, so you don't want to use it all the time. You kind of want to save it when you get in trouble, then you can use it to escape enemy prospectors. But that's all going to be covered in another video later this week, so be sure you're ready for that. And one last tip I'm going to give, I know we just went over every single loadout for the best loadout for new players, but I am going to say, as you move up in faction level, you can try out new loadouts. We have a ton of other videos going over other loadouts. We have like the best PvP loadout in the cycle, the best PvE loadout in the cycle. We have so many weapon loadouts that you can try out, and that's going to be in the top right hand corner of your screen right now, just a few videos like that. So I hope this video did help some of you beginner players out, and hopefully it helps you win those first few games, and hopefully you're able to level up your factions, get used to the game, and I hope you enjoy it, because this game is amazing. The grind aspect for the factions right away feels so good, and I really enjoy that. That used to be my favorite part, just trying to get level 10 on all the factions. So be sure to just stick with it. You might have a few bad games, just keep on playing and you're going to do great. You're going to get so much better at the cycle. Over here on this channel, we're giving you guys the best tips to become better at the cycle, so be sure to subscribe with notifications on and like this video if it did help you guys out. That's going to wrap it up, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.